My name is Sterling, and I am on location.
Recreational fishing is second only to running as the most popular outdoor activity in the U.S. Why is running so popular? I have no idea. There are a lot of ways to catch a fish, and even more types of fish to catch. On this comfortably cloudy Pacific Northwest day, Dogmatix and I would join the great people of Big K Guest Ranch in Elkton, Oregon. Our target today was smallmouth bass, with an emphasis on catch and release, not just feeding fish snacks. The Big K Guest Ranch is a secluded gem nestled in the heart of an 18-mile Umpqua River loop with 8 exclusive boat ramps for their customers. It is also a family-owned and operated cattle ranch with 2,500 acres to spread out. We would be joining Gary Williamson, a 5th-generation grandson of the Big K Ranch.
Dogmatix, are you ready?
All right, we ready to go catch a fish?
Right. This isn't bad. This is a pretty nice boat. I feel like I'm ready for a nap. So we've cast off on a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
There's no islands though, so we're gonna be all right. And Dogmatix is here with us to keep us safe today. We're gonna keep him safe too. You might not know that they can't swim. That's 20 pounds right there.
Phil Strader was our Bass Master fishing guide. He slipped Gary and I right into a prime spot for catching. I quickly hooked a fish and let the bragging begin.
Woo! Woo! You might not be able to see the size of this lure, but it's a pretty big hook. They're called smallmouth bass, but that's false advertising. Fail. What happened? Oh, there we go. And this is why you go with guys like Phil. That way you don't have to fix your own knots.
Among the widely agreed tips for bass fishing are shallow waters, just before a storm, and with the current. We glided down the Umpqua, catching bass constantly, and really enjoying the day. Big K Outfitters is strictly a catch and release operation. They carefully remove the hook and return every fish to the river.
They're nice and shiny. So Gary,
Yes.
what's a typical day for a fish tour?
Usually when you book a fishing trip with the Big K, you're gonna be able to go out on the water. A lot of times we'll start at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna fish for 7-8 hours. You know, that's a full day fishing trip. And during the summertime, smallmouth bass is the target species. In the spring, you have pre-spawn bass and American shad. Oh, you got a fish right there.
That's how it's done. Some people talk, some people catch. Got another smallmouth bass. This is our target species, smallmouth bass. Dogmatix is doing great. This is his first time on a boat, and he's into it. He's protected up with his little vest. He actually swims pretty good with it. I think he'd be fishing if he could. We're trying not to catch him. Yeah, there's a fish jumping behind you. Cast over there. Dogmatix, what are you doing? Hey, buddy. Yeah. What's going on? Oh. See, look. Eye contact. Right. Look out, buddy.
Hey, hey. All right, man. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right.
Do this and then I'll show you what he's eating.
Some crawdad. So this is what we're going for. Smallmouth bass on target species. All right, good luck, buddy.
Fish that you just caught
Yeah.
actually spit this one up, and this crawdad is still very much alive.
It's like a popcorn shrimp, ready to go.
Yep.
Endless food supply from the ocean.
That guy's ready to go back in.
The primary food for both large and smallmouth bass is crawfish. Think mini lobsters. Dogmatix thought they were neat, but not tasty.
I'm casting.
Our bait was native to the river. This way, we did not introduce an invasive species. Considered a slow-paced outdoor adventure, Fishing is extremely popular, with approximately 1 in every 5 Americans enjoying the sport every year. Bass is one of the top recreational fish species in the United States, and according to a recent study by U.S. Fish and Wildlife, 43% of freshwater anglers fish for bass. Some of the best states for bass fishing include Texas, Minnesota, Ohio, Florida, and California. Here in Oregon, I found a slice of paradise.
On the Umpqua River right now, our property borders nearly 10 miles of the Umpqua River, and for the last 25 years we've been doing strictly catch and release on our smallmouth bass. So we typically have more fish and more big fish than most other places on the Umpqua River. And it's a beautiful river. I've been fishing here since 6 years old probably. I'd start, go down to the river and hop in a float tube and fish all day long. But Phil Strader back here, he knows the river probably as good or better than anybody. And that's why we're fishing with him today.
He's been enabling us really well.
Yeah.
So Phil told me earlier that Big K's 12-month of the year fishery. What's that entail?
Well, the Umpqua River is full of fish, and you can fish on the Umpqua 12 months out of the year. Now, okay, don't...
Calm down, Dogmatix. Hey, buddy.
He wanted to fish.
How long's Big K been in your family?
The ranch has been in the family for over 100 years. Now, the resort, the Big K Guest Ranch, we started out about 25 years ago, and we've been a family-owned and operated business in Western Oregon for quite a while. It borders about 10 miles of the Umpqua River. This business has been something really great for us and our family too. You know, it's something that we try really hard not to take advantage of, and we try to take care of it, you know, for everybody to come and enjoy. This property has been a very sustainable tree farm for a lot of years, and we can log a certain amount and replant. So we're reclaiming a lot of brush and bringing that brush ground back into productive timberland or pasture for cattle. 2,500
acres is enough to accomplish that.
Well, it's been working for us.
Yeah.
You know, my granddad, when he was 17 years old, he told his brother Virgil, someday I want to build a place where everybody can come and enjoy the outdoors. You don't have to be an avid sportsman. You don't have to, you know, be an experienced angler or a hunter or anything like that. He wanted a place for everybody to be able to come out and enjoy the outdoors, and that's what we here at the Big K is all about.
Fishing has been a great outdoor adventure, and we were into some fantastic country. We started fishing with Big K Guest Ranch and Outfitters, who were excellent. Further upstream on the Umpqua River is the Rock Creek Fish Hatchery. This hatchery is used for adult collection, spawning, incubation, and rearing. It produces fall and spring chinook, summer and winter steelhead, coho salmon, and rainbow trout. I was excited to join the biologists and hatchery personnel for some fish health manual labor. I also needed to learn about this location with hatchery manager Dan Meyer.
Hi, I'm Sterling.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Nice to meet you, Dan. What do you do here?
I manage Rock Creek Hatchery for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. We produce about 140,000 pounds of fish. We are an augmentation facility. We are here to put fish in the creel of the fishers. We want you to keep the fish that you catch. If you catch fish, take it home, enjoy it. And basically that is our job.
That's your mandate.
That's our mandate, right.
Put fish in rivers so people can catch them. What do you like most about working in this fishery?
A couple of weeks ago, I had a tour, and it was a tour of 5th and 6th graders. And there was a father that was along with his child, and he told me a story about fishing up at Lamola Lake. And the fish they were catching were 2 and 3 pounds. And the biggest one was caught by the 5th grader, his daughter. And it made his day. And you could just tell in his eyes. That's what's so rewarding about this job, just stories like that.
Like Dan said, Rock Creek Fish Hatchery operates a harvest program. It is designed to enhance native fisheries without impairing native reproducing populations. As part of the hatchery's rearing and release strategies, fin clip smolts are produced. Smolts are juvenile salmon or trout ready for transition to the ocean. Fingerlings are juvenile fish that have developed scales, working fins, and are typically the size of a finger. Here, we see fingerlings being fin-clipped. To understand better what was going on, I met up with the local expert.
Hi, I'm Sterling.
Greg,
Nice to meet you. So what do you do here?
I'm the district fish biologist out of the Roseburg office, ODFW. I work in the Umpqua district, the entire district from the Cascades to the coast.
That's excellent. So they were telling me like you're in charge of like the breeding program.
So yeah, I get to help set the locations in which we stock, the number of fish that we stock, both trout and our salmon and our steelhead production as well, the locations that we stock them, what time of year we stock them, and how many.
What's this stock really for?
So the primary purpose for our hatchery fish is for anglers to go out and be able to enjoy those fish and to be able to take a fish home. You know, some of our regulations, you can't keep a wild fish, so it's always nice to have that opportunity for someone who wants to take one home for table fare, that they can do that with the hatchery fish.
It sounds like you're really enabling fishers.
Yeah, that's the goal.
When you're talking to these guys, like putting in an order for fish, how do you decide which ones need to be bred up?
Sure. We look at a lot of our catch statistics as far as how many fish are being caught from anglers in certain water bodies. If there are certain places that the creel data that we have, which is the angler statistics, if they're catching too many, then maybe we'll put more fish into those water bodies, our more popular fisheries. If we have fisheries that maybe aren't as popular, maybe we'll ratchet those numbers down a little bit. Cool.
What's the primary way a fisherman can tell the difference between a wild fish and a hatchery fish?
Sure. So we do 100% fin clipping on all of our hatchery fish, at least with salmon and steelhead, so that when an angler does get one of those fish in hand, if they're lucky enough to catch one, they can look at that adipose fin, which is the fin back by the tail, between the dorsal fin and the tail. If it's smooth, if it's missing, that indicates it's a hatchery fish and they can take that fish home.
Fantastic. That should make every fisherman happy. When we hop in this tank over here, what are some of the things I need to be watching out for?
Sure. So we're always looking out for human safety first and foremost. We've got hammers and other equipment that you just want to be cognizant of. Be cognizant of the nets. The handles could hit you, so be aware of that. And then also the fish safety. We want to make sure that they're not in the sedative too long, that we don't overcrowd the fish. We don't want to have any undue stress on those fish.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Let's get to it.
Sounds good.
I would be hopping in the water with hatchery personnel to gather adult steelhead salmon. We would be injecting them with antibiotics for the control of bacterial diseases and then moving them into a holding tank. This work falls under the Fish Health Management Policy adopted by the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. Its aim is to prevent the introduction, amplification, or spread of fish-borne pathogens. These bacteria might negatively affect the health of both hatchery and native reproducing stock. Today's salmon roundup would take place in a holding pond. We had a portable gate that we could lock in place using a hammer and wedge. We used it to crowd the salmon together. We then netted them into a trough containing clove oil that sedates the fish. Then, we injected the fish with a therapeutic agent approved by the FDA for use on food fish. These adult steelhead average 20 pounds and were provided by the Rock Creek Hatchery. They are mainly for sport fishing and are genetically and ecologically like the natives. They contribute toward the sustainability of the native fish population. The Pacific Northwest has nearly 150 hatcheries. 72 are operated by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, while the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife maintains 30. Washington and Idaho share the remainder. These organizations support more than 46 million anglers. I enjoyed assisting with the health and monitoring of the Rock Creek salmon, but learning where the stock for recreational fishing comes from was great. With the knowledge I was not harming the native population, I was excited to get back on a river. Though I'd already caught smallmouth bass and handled an adult hatchery salmon, my fishing adventures were far from over. But that's a story for another episode. One thing's for sure, I had experienced some of the most epic scenery America has to offer. I know, because I've been on location.